I am the first one in my family to own a home. My father and my brother-in-law passed away the same month of my divorce. So I had to deal with a loss of my marriage, my 16 years of marriage. So I had to deal with that kind of loss, which felt just the same as losing someone you love like a father. I had to come up with a plan how to get from point A to point B. And it was always in the back of my head of home ownership. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. But I knew I was going to get there at some point. I now have to survive on one income, so I didn't really have a whole lot of opportunity to mourn my loss of my marriage. But I kept my persistence that somehow, some other time, I will get a home. I'm not giving up on that dream. And then you see your kids, telling your mom, don't drop me off close to the school because my friends don't know that your dad got divorced. And so the kids were trying to keep it a secret from their friends. And so we did that for a while. And then finally, the kids in their own time, they told their friends, yeah, well, my parents are now a part of the statistic. They're divorced, after 16 years. And it's hard, and it was hard on them.
Even my friends, they're having the same issue as me. Their parents are divorced, and one of my friends, she doesn't have a dad, so they understand. But I still felt I not have a normal life.
Well, state of Florida, when you have shared custody, no one pays child support. You take care of your home, and she takes care of her home. We heard about Shepherd's Village, which is a single family housing for single women and their children. Gave me a breathing room because it was affordable, and that allowed me to get my head together and figure out what I need to do to improve my income, what I need to do to sustain myself, because the program's only 2 to 3 years, and so therefore I had that time frame to try to get myself situated, which I did. Thank goodness for the programs like Habitat and Shepherd's Village, and for great bosses like the ones I had that were understanding and patient with me, because there were times, and they could validate this, that I would be at the office crying. I mean, literally when I was contemplating living in my car, I cried all night because it was really a hard decision. I love my kids. I didn't want to take that route, but why would I want them to live in the car with me? That would be selfish of me. And that's actually the most painful part of my story. It's that day. I remember it's just happened, of saying, okay, I'm going to send the kids to their dad and I'm going to live in the car. She called me in her office and she says, what's going on? And I didn't want to tell her because part of me still had a sense of, I don't know, a sense of pride, but more of, I wanted to keep my life private because I am a private person. When she asked me, I remember I cried in her office and I said, I have to give up my kids. And she said, well, why? And then I said, well, it was really hard because I had to tell her, well, I have no place to live. I have to stay in my car because I can't afford the rent I have. And so she was really nice. She went into gears and calling, people at the church. And that's when she was telling me about Shepherd's Village. And financially, she gave us a contribution to, hold me over. And then we, just hugged and we prayed because she's a woman of faith. And she said, we'll get through this, we'll be fine. And so then, sure enough, that's the one-bedroom apartment we found.
I didn't want to sleep there because there's bugs everywhere, and I was afraid they were gonna crawl on me and stuff. And so I didn't really like that because a lot of the apartments that we live in have bugs and stuff.
And it was temporary. Everything was temporary. So we got there. Though I felt a little better, I still felt like the walls were caving in. I have now an apartment that is a little more affordable. It's not $800, but I felt like the walls were still coming in because the money just barely made it. When you have 3 kids, 2 of them teenagers, and you got to feed them and you got to clothe them. But I kept my persistence that somehow, some other time, I will get a home. I'm not giving up on that dream. That day came when Candy from Habitat showed up at Shepherd's Village the last week I was there and talked about it and said, you can get an affordable housing with Habitat for Humanity. It'll fit your budget, your income, and you could have a home for you and your children. Being part of the Habitat for Humanity program, they require not only the 250 hours for a single adult with children. I had to do 16 classes. We worked hard for it and we put that effort into it, so it's a sense of accomplishment. The challenges actually mold me and help me to become the person I am now. I feel like I'm in the clouds. It's a great feeling. Stress has definitely been relieved. Oh my gosh, the first time we were here, it just felt strange at first. Like, oh my gosh, this is really our home. We have a backyard, we have a front porch. We could paint the walls. We don't have to live in white walls anymore.
I feel good to be eating at the dinner table because when we live in apartments, we just like sit on the couch and eat while we watch TV. So that's what we normally do. But since we have like an actual house, I feel like we should be eating at the dinner table.
I was impressed with the home I got. It's the home I had looked for a year before that I did not qualify with Coldwell Banker. So it's in the same neighborhood. However, it's more affordable through Habitat for Humanity. So I got the home I wanted a year ago, but in a different way. I'm no longer feeling stressed out. I'm no longer feeling overwhelmed. I now feel content, accomplished. I feel like I could take on anything. And so to see now that I have home ownership, it feels good.